Hi everyone, it's Becky here. So welcome to a new video on my YouTube channel and welcome to February 2022. So I just came back from outdoor sketching. So today the temperature is about freezing point, 0 Celsius, and but it's very sunny. It's so beautiful and so inspiring. It's really rare to have a full sunny day in winter here in Vancouver. Most of the days we have rain or snow, and tomorrow more snow and rain are coming. So I just want to hold on to this beautiful golden day by just going out for a walk and do a half-an-hour sketch. And somewhere around the street corner, I got really inspired seeing the light and shade on these houses against the blue sky. And the shadows on the street are also very beautiful. And so I think I'm going to do a panorama. The first half of the panorama is going to be focused on this view, and the other side of the panorama is going to be this view. So I'm taking about 2 minutes to visualize and size and placement of everything first. And now I'm beginning to draw this street lamp, because this lamp is the tallest object in this scenery, and it acts as a ruler or a guideline to find the proportions, like the size and placement of everything else around it and expanding. So now, as you can see, I can find the placement of this bush. So the height of this bush is around the midway line of the lamp's height. And adding a few texture lines to show the leaves on the bush. Nice and loose, just wriggly lines. And now I'm just keeping drawing the evergreen trees surrounding this lamp, actually on the very back. Drawing and adding the tree textures at the same time. Drawing pretty quickly. Try to capture the spirit of these trees instead of try to copy their exact contour outline. And now there's a little lamp there. It's much shorter and smaller because it's far away. And drawing this bare branch tree here, right behind the lamp. And just keep adding some more layers of the trees on the back. And adding some bare branch trees around the middle. And keep building the forest towards the middle. And now I see a corner of a house with a chimney is showing there, so I just drew that. And a little car parked in the front. Some other random house structures showing. And now I'm just drawing the sidewalk stuff near the foreground. Now this line is important, the sidewalk line to show perspective. And now I'm keeping drawing around the middle part of this sketch. The bushes, the square bushes, and the little chimney and the triangular shapes of another house right here. So I see houses are making up of very simple geometric shapes like triangles, squares, and rectangles. And now I'm drawing this large triangular shape of this house near the foreground. Pretty obviously, on the side view, it has a triangular shape for the roof. And now just drawing the fence of this house in the foreground and the garbage bins. Today's garbage collection day, and a little bush there. And keep drawing the fence. As you can see, I'm building up a bit of perspective here. The fence pieces are getting larger, closer to the foreground. There's an angle there, and adding some windows. The windows are very important things on a house. They're like the eyes of the house. And the rails, the stairs. And now I'm adding just a very simple texture for the rooftop. And going back to this little house in the background, adding some windows. And a car here parked in the around the garage. And another car right there. It's all about connecting objects one after another. Some little trees in front of that house, and another important perspective line. And shading in this bit. It's pretty dark there. And some more windows. And the dark bush right there. The front door part, or the garage part of the house. Now I'm just adding some little details, the vertical lines of the fence, some little textures for the bush there, and the lawn and the sidewalk division line there. Some texture for the little forest here, using very simple little choppy lines. Yeah, just a bit here and there to show the texture. And now I'm just adding some little branches and twigs for these bare branch trees in the middle because they look a bit too empty. Some more tree forms behind the houses. And let's see, just add the thickness line of the sidewalk. Just give it more density there. Yeah, I'm done the left-hand side of the panorama, and now I'm ready to move on to the right side of the panorama, which is on the other page. Now it's time to start kind of finishing up the fences over here. Again, it's getting larger as it gets closer to the foreground. And just drawing the rooftop of this white house in the very foreground. Triangular structure, and the front side of the house just a little bit tricky. So again, don't worry about the exact accuracy. Just try your best to follow the angles. It's roughly like a cube shape. It's just a rooftop, just a little bit tricky with different directions, lines. And the outline of the windows, shading in the windows just to give the house more density. And now just drawing the eave and the basketball hoop right there. Finishing the side line of the house, and there's one little bush over here in the front, like a palm tree, little palm tree here. And two little pointy bushes joined together. Just finishing drawing the fence, the big pieces in the foreground. Some more tiny little bushes around the bottom, and the garage door. This is one of the garage doors. And in front of the other garage door, there's a car. And here's a sign over here. I think they have a family business doing hairdressing. Just finishing the details for the car, the windows, and darken the window frames. Just adding the handles there. And finishing drawing the other garage door. This is the other part of the same house. The chimney. Just trust what I see, because the angles can seem a bit strange. The eave over here. And this part of the house looks thinner because it's looked from the side. It looks a bit foreshortened from the side view. Just drawing the big window over here and shade in the corners. Just adding these rectangles at the relief on the garage door. And these rectangles takes a bit of patience, and we don't have to be perfect. Just do it quickly and be loose and playful. Okay, now I'm ready to add the windows on the side of this big house. and the other structures like pipelines and stuff. A lot of shapes. I'm just seeing these things in shapes rather than just thinking about what they really are. And some more little stuff on the side of the house. It's a loop of line there. And these lines on the side exterior of the house is really giving a sense of perspective. As you can see, as it gets lower, it's pointing to a different angle. And these ones around the front are pretty much horizontal lines, because we're looking at this side of the house straight on. Yeah, just keep it really simple by not drawing it all the way to the right. Yeah, and omitting some areas just to, leave some blank space for the viewer to imagine, accentuating underneath the roof because there's dark shadows there. Just finishing drawing the sidewalk line connected from the left to right. A little bit perspective line over here of the driveway. Here too. Now I'm ready to draw the house on the very right side, starting with the rooftop, the chimney. The chimney is a tiny little prism shape. And again, just following the different angles and directions that I see. And not worrying about, the exact architectural structure. Yeah, these lines are going in all directions. And a lot of vertical lines too. So when drawing houses, don't worry about, getting it a bit wonky. Just try your best to connect all of those large and small geometric shapes. And now just drawing this little palm tree in front of this house, really cute. And just finishing drawing all the windows of different sizes and color in the glass part with solid black just to give more density and definition for the house. And also a lot of windows during daytime, they look very dark. And just finishing the last few lines, adding another window here, and I think I'm pretty much done. We don't have to draw every single little detail. I think I've already captured a lot of the spirit of this scenery, including the perspective, the details of the houses and the greeneries, and I'm pretty happy with the line drawing. And now I'm ready to move on to painting watercolors. So as always, I like to paint the sky area first. So I'm just wetting that area with clear water so the color can spread out nicely and also in a pretty translucent way. So now I'm adding some medium yellow to show the sunshine tone on the cloud, and there's also this nice bright sunshine color on the street. So it's kind of like an underpainting. So the temperature is very low today, around freezing point. So it's gonna take a long time for these paints to dry. And now, of course, I'm doing wet on wet, cerulean blue on top of the bright yellow tone of the clouds. Yeah, just keep it really nice and light and transparent. And just grabbing some Viridian green mixed with a bit of yellow ochre to paint the first layer for the trees here and there. Also a little bit burnt sienna for that bush behind and the lawn. Okay, and now I'm grabbing some medium yellow to paint the exterior of the houses. It's a nice and bright sunny day, so these houses are having a nice yellow sunshine color, and burnt sienna to paint the fences. And mixing blue with burnt sienna to get this dark brown for the rooftops. So now there's more contrast in this sketch with the dark rooftop colors, just adding the warm yellow-green for the lawn in the foreground. Grabbing some ultramarine blue and pink purple, switching to my thinner medium tip Sakura Water Brush to paint the shade on the clouds. So keep it like this. Because the sky area is taking forever to dry in this freezing temperature, so I'm just letting go, just let the paint blooming in the sky, creating this smoky color. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. Just adding a stronger layer of green and also a bit of yellow ochre here and there to show the sunshine spots. So now I'm mixing some burnt sienna into viridian green to get a darker tone of green for these trees. As you can see, there's quite a bit of variety of different greens for the forest because I mix in more or less yellow ochre or burnt sienna and more or less water to control the intensity of the greens. And just painting the last bits of tips for the trees here and there. Just adding some shadows on the lawn here with the dark tone of green mixed by viridian green and burnt sienna. Nice shadows on them. And also using some blue, it could be ultramarine blue, to add shadows on the street here from the houses and the trees. Now there's more contrast and atmosphere in this sketch. A bit shade here and there for the car and for the houses too. And using some burnt sienna to add the color of the branches and twigs in general. For these bare branch trees in the distance and a little bit polish here and there. Okay, so just one more layer of quick dark green tones by mixing mostly burnt sienna into viridian green for the top layer of the forest to suggest shade. Okay, now I'm ready to move on to the right side of this panorama of painting. Again, painting the sky first by wetting it with clear water by squeezing my water brush, and then just putting on cerulean blue, nice and easy. Just keep it watery. And now I'm putting on some lemon yellow mixed with a bit medium yellow to paint the exteriors of these houses to show the warm sunshine on them. And mixing some yellow green for the lawns. And the driveway again has a really nice warm muted yellow tone. Burnt sienna for the rooftops. More intense there, just another quick intense layer. Viridian green for the little bush here. And grabbing some ultramarine blue mixed with purple to paint the shade part of the house. Very important to give 3 dimension. And grabbing some more pink purple and ultramarine blue. Mix them together and do the same for this house here. Yeah, just keep it nice and loose with a variety of gray tones. And painting the eaves. Just painting the windows. They have a kind of a greenish tone reflected from the trees around them. Just add another layer of shade for this side of the house. Just to give more contrast. And a darker shade of green for the bushes. And the tree, the little palm tree there. The same shade of green to paint the shadows on the lawn. Painting in layers is very important to give more life to the things that we paint. A little final polish here and there. Just painting the color for the car And the garage door, it's pretty much the same color, very dark brown. Just painting the shadows on the rooftops. Mixing in more blue into burnt sienna just make the brown darker. And that's pretty much it. And here is the look of my finished sketch. Wow, I haven't done the panorama like this in a long time. And I really like how the result turned out. It's very loose because it's around freezing temperature today. The paint, as you can see, a lot of blooming happening. It's very loose compared to the sketches that I did indoors at home. The experience and the result is different from doing something in the comfort of the home. I had to work really fast, just capture the essence very quickly without thinking too much because I don't have a lot of time. It's gonna get colder if I sit longer. So having a limited amount of time and also in an extreme temperature really helps with, getting to a different style of sketching. So thank you so much for watching my video. If you like my video, please click like and leave me a comment below. Subscribe to my channel for weekly updates. And so back home, having a warm cup of coffee right here to warm up and enjoy the last bit of the afternoon of sunshine before the snow and rain arrives again tomorrow. So you can sign up for my February Sunday Sketch Together sessions. So every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so I believe that's late in the afternoon or evening in Europe, we'll meet for about an hour 45 minutes and we'll sketch 2 to 5 different subject matters together like home, objects, and urban sceneries. So all you need is some watercolor, papers, or sketchbook, one waterproof ink pen, and just a very simple set of watercolors to join the sessions. And all of the 4 sessions will be recorded, and so if you have to go early or join in late, you can always check out the replay that I will upload to a private YouTube playlist. So the sign up link is on the upper right corner, or just click the link in the description part of this video.